Okay, before I put this wire hobby away for the day and do my paint pour, I'm going to finish the review on this jig. And I'm going to try something with it. I really don't care for this jig because you are limited, so limited on where you make your loops. And it doesn't seem to fit any of my stuff, in particular these cabochons that I make. And, but I'm going to try something with it. You get these different size pigs, and what I don't like are the pigs are loose. Okay, and when you're weaving around them, they will move, they'll shift, which throws off your work. It doesn't make your work even. With them being this loose compared to the others, these are nice and sturdy, but these little pigs, I don't like them. So I'm going to take this big stuff off, and I'm going to try one thing. There's one design that I want to try and make for a pendant that I'm getting, and I know the size of the pendant. So it's similar to this resin cab that I made, and I want to stay a distance apart. So I'm going to try one. I want the bottom to kind of come down to a peak. So I've got some 16 gauge dead soft, and I am going to cut a piece. Before I cut it off, I'm going to measure the length here. These are coiled wires. You can see it's coiled around. I did these on the drill, and I'm going to use these up with this project. Before I cut this piece of wire off, you can see that it's all bent out of shape. I'm going to try and straighten that out a little bit. So I'm going to get my plastic or coated pliers and just slide down through. You can do this with towels, I guess. So I just want to try and straighten that wire out. Make it nice and easy to work with. I'm going to have to go through here a couple of times with this nylon jawed pliers. Nylon, plastic, whatever. And you can get replacements for these. You can see that mine is, oh, wait a minute. Let me go at this side. See, mine is pretty well used, chopped up. Yeah, I use this tool a lot. So what I'm going to try and do, just to see, give this jig one last chance before I put it on a rummage sale. People love my rummage sales. I get rid of a lot of art stuff. I'm going to cut this piece of wire to the length, same length as these coils. Okay. All right. And let's see, the end is a little bent yet. So let me just try and straighten that out. Hold on a minute. Just gotta try and straighten that tip out a little bit. Well, that's better. Okay, that tip didn't have to be perfect because I probably wound up cutting it off anyways. So I'm going to actually find the center of this wire. This wire is, let's see, almost 10 inches long. So 5 would be the center. And I'm going to put the center right here on that part of the jig. All right. And then I'm going to bend this 16 gauge up. And this cab's going to want to slide around. These slippery. So let me get a piece of tape and tape it down just to hold it a little firmer so it's not so slippery. I know I have some tape here. Hold on. There it is. Here it is, folks. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Let's try and tape this down. Square with the world. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit going on. You know, and it's just about in every pocket there is, too. A lot of people are trolling, and I think it's an epidemic of hate right now because people are just so disgruntled with what's going on. Actually, there. Now, as I try and pull this wire, I lost the center. Hold on, let me remeasure. Better to measure twice and do the work once. Okay, there's the center. Same when you're doing woodwork, you know, always recheck your measures. So when I try and pull this wire down around this cab, I want a nice little peak down there. Kind of looks like a fish. There. And it'll be a little bit bigger than that cab. And that's what I want. It doesn't look symmetrical though. Let me take this tape off. It looks like the fish has a hump in it. I have a jig that I made, and I glued a lot of these cabs down onto a board. Yeah. See, it didn't bend quite right. I've got a hump right here. So let me try and work that out a little bit. Just go with your nylon nose and maybe crimp that out just a little bit. That looks better. See, the wire, when you do wire work, you gotta kind of fiddle around with it a little bit. So this is going to be an outside frame around a cab. I'm planning a piece that I want to go on top of a cab with a tree of life. And there's going to be a lot more weaving on this piece than just this. Around this wire, I'm going to where are my coiled wires? Where did I just put them? Right here. I'm going to go around the outside of this frame with a coiled wire. The bail is going to be up on top here. I'm going to leave these long wires until I'm done with the piece because these might be incorporated with the bail. The bail is what's going to hold the chain. So I'm going to use some of these coiled wires, wrap around and attach them, but I'm going to attach the tree of life to this frame first before I put these coils on. So this jig kind of worked a little bit for this reason, but if you are planning to make flowers or something like that, I don't care for this thing. Let me see if I can make a flower. Let's see. There. Let me get some junk wire. Which is this aluminum wire? I use this aluminum wire for practicing. It's so easy to bend. Okay, so we're going to, let me just snip a piece off. It's a little easier to work with. I'm going to get the bend out. I always got to do that. Aluminum wire is good. It has its purpose, but for jewelry, it's just too soft. All right, so let's try and see those little things kind of move around on me. All right, go around these. See, they move. They kind of slide up, and underneath these pins, you see it gets narrower, and that's what throws my design off. I think it does because they just don't stay put. All right. Now I can take another pliers and bring these together. All right. See, it slid underneath and over there, and this one and this one. Which, if you look at it, there are smaller loops from it sliding underneath. These loops are larger. You see, it's just not symmetrical. That's why I don't like this jig. I think I have better luck with the tools, the round tools. I can fix it. So you can always fix your work. You can make those loops a little bit bigger. That's why I just don't like the jig. A lot of people like it though for what they're doing. I mean, there's a purpose for it, but that looks a little bit more symmetrical. And then there's also this type of tool too. This one is a flat edge to, kind of flatten the wire on your bail. Where you start, where you first pinch it in here. You can get these bail pliers where they have these round barrels on each side. But this is the one that I picked. So that's why I don't care for the jig. It just, these small little pigs move around and they slide out of place, they slide up. And I think that a person could make their own jig, even pounding nails in a board. So that is my review on the jig. I didn't like it, and it's probably something I'll never use again. And, you know, I didn't know until I bought it and tried. Hey, it's just not for me. Someone else's mileage may vary. So that's all I got on my review for the jig. Please have a nice day. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for your support.